to any of you, but you all realize that any decision that you make as individuals, there will be at least one person that agrees with you and one person that will not agree with you. Okay? This next question is generally for the community. What would you do to attract new business to come to Sister Lakes and Keeler? Next time we'll start now with you.
Well, I think that's one of the biggest things that we need on here at Sister Lakes is some new business. Some of the businesses that we have here are so small they can't afford to even hire anybody that's local. We live quite a ways away from any of the bigger towns, so you got to drive quite a ways to get to work. I myself, I got to drive clear to Georgia to actually find work. But I think we need to bring and look for businesses that are willing to come into our area. I also think that we need to have some kind of area set up for businesses. What we have up here for our shopping center is wonderful, but I just feel that we need more area for business to grow. And I think there's been businesses that have attempted to come here that were turned away just because there was no room to put them. We're more of a farming community, and I really hate to see the farms sold off and lost. That's where I believe we've made most of our business here.
I think we should be a little more flexible toward people who have businesses that want to come here and maybe go for grants or help them go for grants that allow them to come in and join our community and make their homes here like some of the people have. It's just so many places you don't open their arms, and I think we need to come back together as a community and allow people to have their businesses in their homes and nearby.
Because Keeler Township, in a lot of ways, has a very unique demographic, with 3/4 of it being agricultural and 1/4 or less where or 3/4 of the people live. As a resort community, the type of businesses that can be attracted are typically only profitable, or I shouldn't say profitable, but they have to make enough money in 3 to 4 months to survive for the year. So it's not easy to attract businesses that because it is so resort and seasonally set up. But the zoning use map has been updated to where the strip along 152 is future zoning would be commercial. It was not commercial before. The board is addressing this factor, and recently put together a tax subsidy for a local business that's enlarging, and that's one thing that would need to be done. But you end up with this NIMBY factor where, well, the type of business that it can be successful over a year-round period would be some type of manufacturing, or oh wait, we don't want that in our backyard. So it's a tough question to answer because it's such a diverse township, but it has been addressed, and it continues to be addressed as we update our land use map.
I agree with Tom. Our zoning is pretty well in place for commercial and industrial. However, what business do you people want here? Do you want a General Motors factory? It would change the complexion of the area, and I think if we change the complexion, it wouldn't be much fun to live in this township anymore. I'm really asking, what business do we need? Anybody got a suggestion?
I'd like to see more restaurants and shops.
What kind of shops?
Dresses, nice clothing shops, shoe shops.
Clothing shops.
I got one for sale here.
I like that a lot.
Oh, we've got clothing shops. Anything else we need out there?
Restaurants.
How about the Playhouse?
Playhouse, that's a good suggestion. You talk to Mary on that. But the real problem is it is a unique area, and the complexion is pretty well. I don't think we're going to generate enough businesses here to support every worker here. We're going to remain a bedroom community forever. It's not going to change. But if anybody has suggestions, come talk to me, because there's some people that are willing to put up some money and some land for any new businesses, but they can't find out which ones they are. So, thank you.
I think it's a great question, and as a realtor, I've been tossing that around for a long time. What can we do to bring in businesses? I wasn't here back in the day, but I understand from our Sister Lakes book that was printed several years ago, this was a booming place. Sister Lakes was a booming place, which brings in a lot of revenue into the area. And I would love to see that, just even as a person in the community. I think, Mary, I love what you have done. I'm very excited for the Corridor Improvement Authority that you have started, and I thank you so much for
Oh,
doing
you're
that.
welcome.
And I think we need to spin off of that and continue to improve our area so that it will be attractive for people who want to bring their businesses in.
There's
Our
grants
businesses-
available.
Pardon me?
There's grants available. We just have a board that's willing to spend money.
Okay. And so I'm totally behind that. And so what are we going to do? I mean, aren't most of our businesses for sale? What does that tell you? That tells me that pretty soon we're going to have a ghost town. And I personally would like to see that change. What the exact answer is, I don't know, but I'd be willing to work towards it. You go on vacation, you go to different resort areas, and it's very welcoming. There's shops, there's ice cream places. Thank the Lord for Driftwood. I mean, that's our main go-to. And in the summer we have Captain Jack's, but what else do we have around here? And then we get into the farming community. I mean, we can build better fruit stands or whatever. People come here to enjoy the produce that comes from our area. So I think there's options out there. I think we just need to make it more of an attractive area. Go for the grants and really work towards it, because I don't want to see things gone. And I have to plug in for the Sister Lakes for the triathlon. It brought a lot of people into our community, so when they come for events like that, which I hope we can do more of,
5 years.
they'll have a place to go. They'll go grab a sandwich somewhere that looks like, hey, I would really like to stop in there and get, a sandwich and a whatever, a
You need
Coke or whatever.
restaurants.
So I'm totally behind that.
So I think we need to work with the businesses we have and
We need restaurants.
make it inviting for new ones.
See? You're
I
right.
don't know how you do that, but it would be nice to look into and try to get them to pull in here.
I'll show you.
Thank you, Jim. New business development, great topic. Hats off to you, started some good
Thank
stuff
you.
going. If you go into these establishments and you talk to the owners, the thing that I've heard over and over again is they're afraid to reinvest in the community because the board did not listen. They asked for things, and quite frankly, they were unsure of how the board would respond to the requests. People want to open a restaurant, but they can't get the zoning. We need to listen to what the business community wants. On the flip side, you talk to some of the farmers, they're like, I just want the dirt roads back. That's okay. We are a farming community too. But at the same time, the triathlon, we brought in, my gosh, 1,000 people into the area. They had nowhere to go, nowhere to stay, nowhere to go. They all just left and went over to St. Joe. We lost thousands and thousands of dollars in our local community. Stores that could have hired our sons and daughters, or friends, relatives, it's all right here. And I also kind of disagree with only the 4-month part. I've sat in my living room in January and watched 40, 50 guys out on the lake ice fishing. I've seen caravans of snowmobiles fly by my house. Where are they going? Keeler Township. There's nothing for them to do here. They just drive right on through. We've got everything that we need here to draw one of the largest metropolitan areas in the country, not in the world, Chicago, less than 2 hours. We have vineyards, orchards, beautiful countryside.
Wineries.
Wineries, well. I think there's so much here, it's unbelievable. And I personally love it here, and it's bottom line, new business development, the board, whoever you decide to needs to listen to the business community. And we need to make some changes, we need to make some compromises, and let's get more people here. Okay, so that's my answer, thank you.
The CIA was started to develop the Sister Lakes area, turn it into a pristine community. Mary's done a lot of work. She should be paid for the work that she's done and hasn't asked for anything, and I know she's put in a lot of time. I think we got to bring the community together as a whole. I drove through the township just the other day. I noticed a couple more businesses with for sale signs or closed or rent signs in the windows, new ones just in the last couple of days, and there has to be 10 or 12 now around Sister Lakes. We have to entertain the outside communities to come in and start a business if locals cannot do it. We have to advertise a cut in the taxes, tax breaks for 5 years or something to come in and start a business or do something. You know, those things all have to be looked into. There's no one single easy answer to get businesses back into Sister Lakes or Keeler. The Keeler store, excellent addition to Keeler. As soon as the old one is gone, I think he's going to put new pumps in. They're going to sell gas there if that ever works out. But the store is modern. Everything's new. I don't know who's been in and out of there, but, you know, and I used to like the chicken in there, but it got to a point where you walk in there and I wouldn't buy anything out of the store. Everything's new. The guy did everything. He jumped through all the hoops for the township. And we get rid of the old store. It'll look a lot nicer in Keeler. But we've got the old garage. We've got things like that that we need to I don't know, beautify. You know, whether it's plant a couple of maple trees in front or down the main corridor of Sister Lakes, or, you know, put sidewalks on the four corners up in Sister Lakes so people can walk without having to run across the road and almost get hit in the 25 school zone, just little things like that. But I think if the outside people see that we are trying to do something to make the community better, they're more apt to come in, they're more apt to buy houses, they're more apt to start a business. I just think that's the way we're going to have to go. I think we should look into grants, matching grants if the township can afford it. I've been going through all the audits and the bills, and I truly feel the township can do more than it's doing right now for the community. So, your turn.
My answer to that is, first we need to see and get people like Mary and the Business Association together
It's my turn.
with the township board to keep what we have. That's why we're here. We've lost one business right now. Everybody up here has talked about how there's so many for sale signs on current businesses. Those are the people we need to keep. Those are our spokesmen for the area who will bring in new business. I think that's where we need to start, is with Mary and the CIA, the Sister Lakes Business Association, and the Township Board to sit together and figure out a better plan on how to keep things here and how to improve our township.
Over the last several years, we've hired a number of different planners who've come in and they say, you know, this is a magnificent little community down here. But one of the problems is that a lot of these businesses were generated back before there was any zoning. Now that we have zoning, there are some real restrictions on businesses, specifically along 690, right down through the Sister Lakes area. About the time somebody wants to do something, there isn't enough parking, according to the zoning ordinance that's in place. So I think one of the things we need to do is provide for some parking in the Sister Lakes area. I think we need to do everything we possibly can to keep the existing businesses in place. By historical accident, a number of these businesses were started initially when we had a much different segment of the population. We had Small Bones Resort. As a matter of fact, I think at one time we had 23 separate resorts. And most folks came up for a week, brought their family up here, they went out to eat every night or almost every night. They went to every bar in town. We had a number of small businesses that catered to these people. Now the summer population that comes in here owns their own real estate. They go out, they eat occasionally. They don't patronize like they once did. So that's our problem in a nutshell. We have to be in some position to attract a business that can survive literally on 3 to 4 months during the year. It's simply a fact of life. Unless we can generate some kind of festivals or some type of extra purpose for these people to come back in the months of September, October, November, December, January, and February, and March, these businesses can only be seasonal businesses at best.